Okay, and we'll
We're
see if
live.
this. Okay, but I hit that twice and it said that, and then it didn't go live. So let's
Okay,
give this a
I think we're
second.
live. I think we're live.
Are we sure? Because we said that twice now and it didn't go live.
No, because it's showing me end stream right here.
Okay. So, well, I guess we're live. So, hi.
Hello, everyone.
That was weird because, like I said, I hit live and then it counted
Yeah,
down.
I
It did
thought
it
for a
twice.
while too, because for a second I was like I was like, okay, maybe it's tripping because I'm on my phone and everything.
Yeah, like there's a
So I was
delay
like,
or some shit.
yeah, I was like, maybe it's a delay or it's like it's also showing record right here or something. I don't know. Maybe I fucked something up because I had canceled the subscription earlier and then I reinstated it. Because remember
Maybe
how I
that's
told
it.
you I was like, hey, we're gonna stop paying for it and everything. Apparently, the going right now is to pay for 3 destinations. So I was like, well, fuck, like we need at least 3, So
Hmm.
that's
And
why I
maybe that's
decided
all
to
it
stay
was, is
here.
because you changed it or whatnot, and now it didn't like it. But anyways, that's what happens when you change shit and then you hit play. Apparently, it doesn't like that you change shit, kind of thing.
No, it doesn't.
So, it's Faithful Friday, brother. How you doing?
You know, not in the world's greatest headspace, but hey, Niner football makes it all better.
And we got a game here in a few days against the Atlanta Falcons, who I think it's gonna be a tougher game. Like the Falcons, I think are one of those like they have low key the best player in the NFL, but I guarantee you, I would say 75% of people don't know who the fuck he is in Bijan Robinson.
I know that in Kyle's presser today, they were talking about him and everything like that. I mean, this is healthy-ish. I know we'll get to it and everything like that, but I don't want to necessarily build one of the biggest stories. Kittle's going to play,
Yep.
and so
No news on that.
at the very least, I think the excuses for the let's be real, bruh. If we're gonna be look, I'm not gonna say championship, whatever, but I still believe that the Niners are a playoff team. Just
I'd
simply
agree with you.
because George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, a healthier Mac Jones in the sense of at least he was able to practice this week.
Yeah, but
These things,
you still
these
don't
things,
have the man though.
no,
But
but these things should be enough to beat a Falcons team. I'm not saying that it won't be close. I'm not saying that our buttholes won't get a little tight. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to go as far as I've seen some people out there put it out there this week that they think the Niners should be sellers and not buyers at the trade deadline.
I still think it's too early to make that determination.
I do too. And I don't. I mean, who are we trading? You're not getting rid of CMC. Jawan, maybe.
Maybe.
That'd be one of the only ones. You know what?
Maybe Kendrick because he's hot right now.
You know what somebody brought up to me? And this would be full like I don't even think so. I think this might be a little rebuild triggering, at least. Trent.
That would be if trading Trent would be the ultimate. We're rebuilding.
That's what I'm thinking.
We're giving up.
And I don't even think that's we're giving up for this year. I think that's giving up for the future as well because it's not like you're getting a top 10 pick for him.
No.
So I still think this football team's a little bit too talented to get in the range where you would get a plug and play significant upgrade starter at tackle. I shouldn't say upgrade because I think it's very hard to upgrade from Trent. But a replacement, I don't think we're going to get into the level where we would. And I mean, I don't even know of Is there even somebody that you would ideally think would replace Trent in the draft next year anyway? You know?
And I haven't even started looking yet.
Yeah, I think I think a little bit that's what got the Niners a little bit in trouble with Defoe. Was once we traded Defoe, it pretty much cemented the fact we're taking the D tackle. And unfortunately, there just wasn't a D tackle good enough to take in that draft.
Yeah. But I mean, you can also, draft late, pick up somebody you think is better. There's always free agency. So, I mean, the Niners, I feel like we would be the team to trade for Trent Williams and then not either sign his replacement in free agency or address it in the draft. Like I could see this team honestly doing that at this point. Like, let me rephrase that. We would not spend top tier draft capital to replace a top tier person like Trent would. You know what I mean?
I agree
we
with
end up
you on
spending
that.
like a 4th or 5th round draft pick to replace him.
That's honestly what I think, which is one of the reasons why I don't understand why we haven't gone in the free agency market for a center.
Yeah, there have been options out there.
Yeah,
I guess we are going to be playing one of them this Sunday.
Which the more I've reached out to some family out in Georgia and everything like that, the more look. There's no secret, Jason. I wanted him. There was no secret. But the more I talk to people who know Falcon football, the more that just simply probably wasn't going to be a realistic target for us. In the sense of the Falcons know he's good too.
Yeah. But I mean, Dahlman, like I said, there have been options.
Yes, I agree. I don't know. I'm
and he's in his prime. He's playing very well for the Bears right now.
I mean, I think we're going to know a lot after this game. Like what? Okay, so the trade deadline is officially what day, bro?
I have no idea right now.
I know it's around Halloween usually.
Yeah, it's usually. I'm just messing with this. See what we got. Let's see. NFL trade deadline. NFL trade. November 4th.
November 4th. So you have
about 3.5 weeks.
The Falcons, Houston, and the Giants. We have those 3 games left. The next one we would have after the trade deadline would be the Yams, which is actually the day I have to be out of here. But so I don't think anything's happening this week. I don't think anything's happening next week. I think if anything happens, it's slightly before that Giants game or slightly after.
Yeah, because I mean, we could still be really good, or the season could turn on us. There's still plenty of time for it to flip either way, kind of a situation. So
exactly, I think what it is I think if we literally sit here, like it's very possible, Jason, that legitly look. I look at that Houston game as a difficult one. I looked at that in the beginning of the year as a difficult game, but it's very possible that the Niners win all 3 of these games, and then it's like, yeah, you can't at 7-2, you can't take us as a non-factor. You can't say a 7-2 football team isn't a contender.
Yeah, because like I said, right now we're still the number 3 seed in the NFC.
That's what I'm saying.
Playoff start right now, anybody who wants to throw in the towel, please just get off the bus right now, because why would you throw in the towel when you're literally still in the top half of your conference in the playoffs right now? Granted, we're a third of the way
realistically, you're upset, a 2-7 upset from hosting the second round of the playoff.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, think about that, Jason. You could have back-to-back home games. And I think with all things considered, if you said that this football team hosted 2 playoff games, the wild card and the divisional round, I think considering everything we went through this year, I'd call that a win.
Yeah. And think about the 2 games in front of us, 2 teams in front of us, the Packers. Although I think the Packers are playing, the Packers are healthier than us. I think that's what's keeping them above us right now, honestly. The Bucks, you take away a few plays in there and you give us a full team, I think we win that game. We lost that game. We only lost by 11 points?
Yeah, and let's be real. That was an offensive collapse towards the end. And it actually really kind of turned out the way I thought it would, in the sense that, like, I thought that Tampa Bay's defense would win them that game. You know, Villavea would just – I thought their D-line would wreak havoc on our O-line, which is kind of what happened, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, you say with – I don't know if you plan to talk about this, but then Kyle didn't completely 1,000% rule out Fred coming back for a playoff run.
He's not coming back, dude. Come on.
He is. I don't care.
Come on, dude. Care.
But
it's not happening. I'm sorry.
No, I don't see. No, but I agree with you, Jason. I don't walk out of that game saying that, oh my God, just Lord Jesus, please don't let us play Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
No.
Especially if that game's at home, you know, and not in Florida. And also, look,
TJ,
I respect Green Bay as a team.
Move to your left a little bit.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I can't.
You're right leaning a little too much.
Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, I couldn't find out where I was. All I saw was the black. But I respect Green Bay as a team, but let's be, like, knock on wood and everything like that. But, like, damn, Jason, I might have been in – fuck, I don't even remember. I think I might have been in middle school. Maybe early high school, the last time the Niners lost to the Whackers in a playoff game.
Okay.
So, there you go. All right, transactions.
Yeah, so obviously today we put MVS onto the IR. Yesterday it's like, I'm not surprised. He really, what has he done? Honestly,
not much.
Exactly. Obviously the big news: Mr. Kittle has been is returning from his IR. We re-signed Isaac Alaquan to the practice squad after releasing him and Robert Beal the day before, and then also defensive tackle Bruce Hector was released. And then earlier this week, we released offensive Killian Zaire, who I don't even remember a signing for him. You know what I mean? It's just like how
that's weird for us because we go through literally every transaction every week.
Yeah. So I don't even remember that name popping up anywhere. Like, who the hell was this guy?
Yeah, I don't.
I feel like that was like a Trent signing at like 2:00 in the morning on like Wednesday or some shit like that.
Shit like that, like because we're pretty up. Like we keep up pretty track with this transaction shit, you know, and
at
like
least looking at it every other day, you're like, okay, look at that, look at that.
Yeah, I mean, like we try to give y'all, you know, we try to be what the team website should be, at least on Fridays, and yeah, I'm not gonna pretend like I know every signing, but no, that name's not ringing a bell.
Yeah. All right, and so here's some of the big stories that I've got. So obviously the first one, the big one, life in this season without Fred. Fred so far looks like to be having a decent recovery. He's smiling. He's playing with his kid, Bo, I believe is his name. Chilling on the couch, doing that thing, reading a book. So everything seems to be going good for Fred so far post-surgery. Yes, like Fred's not coming back in the playoffs if we make a Super Bowl run. Unlike what you were talking about earlier. It's just not happening, man.
Look, honestly, truthfully, I hate to be arrogant and, it's so like, this is like, I've saw people kind of underestimate, like everything goes fine. I have no worry about Fred making a full recovery.
Yeah. It's not a knee. It's an ankle. They heal much easier.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Hearing that everything went well in surgery and everything like that, like the image of Alex Smith's leg will forever be burned into my brain, bro.
Yeah.
You know,
But that's
and
also that man had he. You have to remember with the Alex Smith thing, he had the infection on top of everything.
see, that's what I'm saying. So after my ex's grandfather, I literally remember the day he died. Me and my ex were talking about how he was going in for like hip surgery or something, right? Like it wasn't even like heart surgery or anything. It was like hip surgery, or like you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And just being like, just talking, and like my her telling me like, yeah, babe, I might be a little late because I might be going to see my grandpa after he gets out of surgery and stuff, and just like not even fucking just like Lottie fucking da. And I literally remember when she called me, I actually ignored her call first, and then she called me back, and like I couldn't understand her because she was hysterical. And then when I finally heard her say like he's gone, it's like, what the fuck do you mean he's gone? Who the fuck dies from a hip surgery?
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, wait, what? Like, how the fuck do you die from a hip surgery?
Yep.
So like
you don't think about it, but it'll happen really quickly.
Yeah,
too.
you know, I think that there was like some like his blood pressures, like it was explained to me and everything like that. And but it was like one of those, like I couldn't comprehend the fact that somebody could die from a hip surgery, you know, complications of a hip surgery. So look, we're very, I mean, you know, I was talking to OG on the bus last coming back from the Jags game, where, you know, we were talking about the year that Jerry tore his knee in 97 and came back the same year. And I was like, people seem to forget, bro, that was still when the ACL was considered a career threatening injury.
Yeah.
You know, and so we get so nonchalant about these surgeries with players and everything like that because very rare are any of these surgeries career threatening. You know, it takes some shit like infections and complications like that for it to be serious. But like freaky shit happens. So it's good to see Fred recovering it. And I have full confidence that Fred Warner is going to make a recovery, but I ain't gonna lie, I was a little nervous. Not that he was gonna die, but just some complications, you know.
Yeah. And then obviously with his replacement being Tatum Bethune, we're not going to go out and sign a big name linebacker or trade one for anything. And it's simply because they obviously have enough faith in him because they are putting the green dot on his helmet. They're not going to someone else. You know, like you would. A lot of people thought maybe it would go to D Winters, maybe one of the safeties. You know, kind of thing. No, we're sticking it on Tatum Bethune. So we have his replacement already in house. And to me, putting that on there, there's been a lot of talk, or I've seen a lot of articles, I should say, read about Fred, who has been, mentoring Tatum Bethune, basically as his replacement,
Yeah.
For obviously, a little over a year now. Well, we're going to see how good of a mentor Fred is. Now, obviously, his play isn't going to be indicative of that, but you know what I mean? Is he going to be able to put everybody in the right spots?
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to make the right calls, to slide everybody over, all that kind of stuff? That's more what I'm interested in seeing from Tatum Bethune, rather than him, having making quote unquote Fred like plays, because he's not the same style of Fred as a middle linebacker. So I mean, like I said, that's what I'm good to see with him.
Fred's a freak of nature. He's basically a DB that they turned into a middle linebacker.
What up, Tommy? How you doing, brother?
Right? Like, I mean, we all know that, correct? Like, Fred Warner was basically a nickel safety / slot receiver, or a slot corner. You know, because BYU would use him in the slot, they use him in the box. You know, they basically turned into a middle linebacker. Bethune is a middle linebacker. He was drafted.
He is that old school.
I said on Tuesday, Jason, 5 years down the line, would you be surprised if the Niners linebacking core was Tatum Bethune and D Winters?
D Winters maybe, but not Tatum Bethune.
Really?
Yep.
I got faith that D Winters would be around.
Well, he hasn't been playing well lately. We'll see. All right. And then obviously the other one is that both Mack and Purdy are still injured. Obviously, Purdy is going to be out for yet another week, which I think is the right call. Don't put that man back on the field until He is 100%. And let us hope, pray, make sacrifices, and do whatever we else that Mac Jones walks off the field. Because what we are doing to this man, as far as protection goes, it's criminal. It's just downright sinful, and none of these guys are going to Valhalla with the way they're playing, man. Odin's like, nah, motherfucker. I saw what y'all did to Mac Jones. Get out.
Yeah, it's man. It's for anybody who truly believes that like quarterbacks don't get hit anymore.
Watch Mac Jones.
You know, yeah, like watch Mac Jones just coming off the field.
Was it not the most pathetic thing when his pants was hanging out? He had both. He had the butt pad.
Like dry heaving on the sideline, eating a banana because his forearms are cramping, and it's just. And Kyle's like, 7-step drop, baby, let's go.
That
fucking
when he rolled out last week, he got like an 8-9 yard play. I'm like, that reminded me of like Manning in his like Bronco days doing a rollout or something like that because it was just so slow. I'm like, why is
what Super Bowl was it? The Tom Brady went out for the pass?
Yeah, exactly. Where he was just the slowest. Like you're just like you stare at him like, is he actually running?
Yeah, like so it was funny because somebody mentioned one of the beat reporters, I think it was Barrows, mentioned it and everything. And he goes, you weren't moving the most gracefully or something like that. And Mac Jones laughed and he goes, you want to race like that? And everything like talking shit like, oh, you think I'm slow? Like, you want to race? And I was like
Mac's a baller though, man. Take whatever you can say about him. He balls.
It's so funny because like he's a nerd, he's a geek, he's a dork, all those type of things. Like you listen to how he laughs and you're just like nerd, and like all that shit. But bruh, he's the most swaggiest nerd of all time. Like
if there was a fight on the field, I'm guaranteeing you, Mac Jones is on the front line. Like he's the first person there, kind of thing.
Like. I remember, so y'all know how I'm into soccer and everything, especially soccer rivalries, because like, man, y'all think I hate the Sheekhawks, bro. You should, man. Whew. Like United are playing Liverpool this weekend and shit, and they got like there's a chant that us Red Devils sing to Liverpool that goes you used to see Munich, but not anymore. Since '96, Scousers lay dead on the floor. In your Liverpool slums. And it talks about like this tragedy where like 97 fans died and shit like that. It's fucking like the shit that they sing at each other is fucking crazy, right? And I was watching this documentary on Celtic Rangers, which is Scottish football. And like Rangers are actually the team that Jed bought this summer. He bought Rangers FC, which is funny because Jed is a Catholic and they fucking hate Catholics. But anyway, Protestant and Catholic, that whole thing. Anyway, so Celtic is a Catholic, club, and Rangers are a Protestant club. So, I remember they were talking to this gang leader for Rangers and everything like that. They were talking about this dude, and they're like, "Man, this motherfucker can't fight worth a fucking damn. He always gets his ass whooped and everything like that." But I'll be damned if he's not the first motherfucker to stand up when there's going to be some shit. You feel me?
That's the way it is.
And he looked and he said, I'd be proud if he was a Ranger supporter. Right? And like, I thought that really meant a lot because it's basically like me going to a Seahawks fan and being like, hey, bro, I'd be proud if you were a Niner fan, And that's Brock. Like, Brock would probably be the first motherfucker to get knocked out or whatever. But, like, you respect him so much because even though he knows that, he's still up there talking shit and, like, standing with his teammates on the front line and everything like that. And I don't know. For some reason, that almost gets more fired up.
Steve-O's going to be traveling in style with, I forget what car. I forget. What's the name of that car, Steve-O? I forget what it was. The blue one that you were going to be driving to the game. All right, so let's take a look at the next one. Next one, we've got the practice report.
Glizzy Globber.
Obviously,
I
you
haven't heard
tier.
that one in a while.
I'm sorry.
I was just reading what Tommy put, the Glizzy
Oh,
Globber.
yeah. Obviously,
And,
Yatir's not going to be playing. Obviously, Ricky's
yeah,
not
no.
going to be out. Brock's not going to be playing, and obviously, Fred's not going to be doing anywhere. But other than that, looks like pretty much everybody else is going to be available for this team. So, okay, so it's a BMW Z4. That shit is nice. So it looks like we're going to have everybody else back for the most part and available, getting healthy.
This to me, like it's like what I was saying, Jason. When you read that injury report and you say George Kittle's not on it, like he's not even on the report.
Yeah.
I know that Upton was questionable. Fucking hurt his ankle the last play of practice on Thursday. Like, I don't even want to ask how the fuck that happens because like I believe one of the last thing that they do in practice is walkthrough. So it's like, how the fuck do you hurt your ankle in walkthrough, my nigga? Like,
Man, just because you tripped
whatever.
over something. Kind of like how
Yeah,
Fred's
like,
ankle. Just somebody else rolled up on it because someone was walking close to him.
Like almost like how you get your kicker's foot fucking stepped on.
Yeah, exactly. That's how that shit happens. That's how the 49ers are cursed.
The person who I was watching the game with, like it was just like I couldn't believe their face and just because it was like I remember watching him lip around and I was like, bro, are you? And I had flashbacks to when we had to have Mitch Wisnowski kick that extra point last year and everything like that. And I was like, bro, like
Juice Holding, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, Juice is our emergency holder. And he's also so if we were to get in a situation where let's say Matt got hurt, Adrian Martinez got hurt, and Matt couldn't come back in, not even like a Brock where like I can't throw but I can hand off. So, and like in the NFC Championship game where Brock wasn't healthy, but it's like I clearly can hand the ball off, so I'm gonna play,
Yeah, that'd be Juice. Yeah, I think
like if not even like that, he literally can't get on the field. Juice is our emergency quarterback.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, I remember just thinking like, bro, like this is beyond cursed if literally our kicker, who's like been perfect on field goals and like solved our kicker problem, everything like that, and he literally gets his foot stepped on and has to miss like 6 weeks or whatever. Like,
yeah.
But anyway,
good to have everybody back.
It is, and so yeah, Jason, I'm sorry. Like respect to the Falcons and everything like that, and I know I'm not going out there expecting a shutout or anything like that from this defense. I think that I'm looking like you said. I think one of the great points you brought up today, bro, was talking about. I don't want to see communication issue between on the defense. That's all I ask for. If Tatum Bethune's going to go out there and there's 4 plays where you're just like, fuck, bro, Fred makes that play. And Tatum just isn't that player,
I'm okay with that.
I'd rather I'll be okay with that because like I understand the limits and that there is going to be a drop off. What I can't have is the lack of is bad communication.
Yep.
That's the one thing I'm looking for the defense, and enough plays. Like I don't need every play. I just need enough plays. But yeah, like this is a healthy enough roster. Does the Niners really want to consider themselves a playoff team? Want to earn the right to trade for Trey Henderson or I believe it's Simmons from
Titans.
The Titans. If the Niners want to earn the right for John Lynch to make those trades, this team is healthy enough that they should beat the Falcons on Sunday.
Yep.
All respect to the Falcons, and I know we're going to break them down here in a second, but I'm sorry when you say one, Mr. George Kittle and CMC are on the field, you got Robert Saleh, and with the full week, I'll give him a pass because I think it's a shock to the system that literally Robert Saleh, the man who drafted and developed Fred Warner, well, D'Amico did actually because D'Amico was coach, but
he handed him off. How's that?
He Robert Saleh was like I'll forgive Robert Saleh for being like, okay, how do I function without 54? Because nobody on the Niners ever knew how to function without 54 because it literally only ever happened for one game. And lo and behold, it wasn't a great game on defense. So I'll give him, but I think Robert Saleh will have enough of a game plan to get us enough stops. Kyle with George, because, I'm willing to overlook the run game because I'm sorry you don't have the best blocking tight end in NFL history. Yeah, that's going to make your run game suck.
Yeah.
Adding the best blocking tight end in NFL history, yeah, that I'm not saying that we should run for 250 yards, but yeah, like 150.
Yeah.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
And I agree with Tommy here that Hendrickson, at least right now, unless the Bengals have a complete collapse, and
They win yesterday.
They sure as fuck did, and it was a damn good game between them and the Steelers. So minus a complete collapse by them in the next couple of weeks, they're not trading Hendrickson unless there's just something else going. But it was kind of odd that Hendrickson did not play yesterday. Kind of say so. Interesting for that, but yeah, that was definitely interesting. TJ, you crazy?
Aziz bought out that game. Was that the game that? No, because Aziz wasn't, because it was last year. Aziz wasn't here last year.
No,
it was last year that Fred missed the game because it was the game after the Patriots game.
He was because
that's when Fred fractured his ankle.
I think he's been a Titan for what, like 3 years now?
Yeah. No, it wasn't Aziz.
The Unk Bowl last night.
I saw people say that.
Yeah,
I saw people say like the Unk Bowl and stuff, and I can't remember who won. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, because aren't they tied with Pittsburgh now?
I don't remember. All I know is that when
I believe they were only one game behind
the Bengals on their last drive to win it. I saw 50-year-old fucking Joe Flacco run an absolutely perfect RPO and faked out like the entire Steelers defense. And I was like, what fucking timeline are we in that Joe fucking Flacco and his old slow ass is, back there running a picture perfect fucking RPO. I was laughing my ass off when I saw it.
I'm still shocked that the man who literally like ended the Niners' perfect Super Bowl record in 2012 is still in the fucking league.
Yeah.
Like, what have we been doing with our lives, Jason, that Joe Flacco's ass is still athletic enough to fucking be in the NFL?
And it's funny because he will completely suck someplace. And then he shows up and he'll play a good for like a game or two. For whoever teams.
Well, let's be real, bro. He stuck in 2012. He just got fire in the playoffs.
Yeah, but that's what he does. Every time he's given a shot, every time he changes teams or whatever he does, that primetime Flacco shit shows up. Primetime Flacco showed up last night. So
well, I'll be fucking damned. Like, I think also with them winning and depending on how far that they are with their how far they are behind Pittsburgh, how close is Joey Burrow to coming back?
I think he can come back in week 12.
If they can hang within a game or two of the division, and you're saying you're getting Joe Burrow back, they're not going to be fucking sellers.
So right now the Bengals are 3-4, and they are in 9th place. So they're two spots out of the playoffs right now. And then the Steelers are 4-2 and in number 3 spot for the AFC right now.
So they're a game behind Pittsburgh for the division, and Burrow's coming back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably another month or so.
Probably another month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. Unless it's a complete collapse.
Yeah. Unless 40-year-old Flacco shows up with 40-year-old Flacco problems, they're not trading Hendrickson. Like I said, I thought it was kind of weird last night that he didn't play, but that's just the way it is.
Unless internally they really do believe that this ain't their year.
Yeah, I mean, and that's always a possibility.
That's always a possibility. But on the outside looking in, yeah, they're not going to be fucking sellers.
No.
I would be pissed if the Niners were the Bengals right now and we traded Nick Bosa. I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
You know? Or we traded Trent. I think would be the equivalent, right?
Yeah.
Probably, maybe.
The wall is undefeated. Time will catch up to Flacco. I don't know, man. Flacco so far is kicking that wall down the field or down the street every fucking chance he gets. So, all right. So obviously, look at the Rams coaching staff. Obviously, by Raheem Morris. I've never been a big Raheem, huh?
You said the Rams.
Oh, the Rams. Okay, the Falcons. I was probably because I was thinking of Raheem. I've never thought that Raheem was a great coach. I've always thought Raheem inherited a good team and did pretty well with what other people did with it. Now, that said, I do think Zach Robinson and Jeff Ulbrich are probably two of the better coordinators. Obviously, we know Jeff Ulbrich, UH alumni, former 49ers linebacker, and somebody besides Saleh was probably the number one guy a lot of us wanted to be the D coordinator here last year, right behind Saleh.
More than a Niner alumni on the 10-year wall.
Did he make it 10 years?
Yes, Jeff Ulbrich is on the 10-year wall. Besides, I believe Joe Staley.
Was he the last one
Jeff
before?
Ulbrich. I believe Jeff Ulbrich was the last one before Joe Staley.
I don't remember him being here that long,
honestly. I believe it's Jeff Ulbrich. And then I believe comes Frankie Gangster. And then obviously after Frankie Gangster is Joe Staley.
So I say what's up to Damian Lee and then what's up to Kenny who just showed up. Thank you, brothers, for showing up.
What's up, Kenny?
Joe Burrow's mid-December. I thought it was early, but it's either way, it's going to be a minute before Burrows gets back.
Yeah. Let's be real. Kyle has a lucky rabbit's foot or something because we were about to be fucked for a DC.
Yeah.
Because Jeff Ulbrich was probably about the only one that I would have been excited with besides Saleh. And Jed must be racking him out. Let's be real. We should all thank the Jacksonville Jaguars for being one of the most incompetent organizations in football. Because if they were a competent organization, the Niners are completely fucked because we don't have Robert Saleh and we would have lost Jeff Ulbrich.
Well, right now I would slightly disagree because they're the number one team in the NFC. So I mean, they're doing okay with their coach, Duval. So I mean, it's still to be determined on how he turns out long term, but I mean, right now they're probably happy with that decision to go with him over Saleh.
Maybe.
But like I said, it's 7 weeks into the next year, so we'll see how it looks out in a little bit. About another month or so.
Just regardless, thank God they didn't hire Robert Saleh because we would have been fucked.
Exactly. All right, and taking a look at their offense. I mean, their offense runs through. I'm just going to call him right now the best player in the NFL, Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson reminds me a lot of someone like, even though everybody knew Barry Sanders, like, I don't think when we talk about the greatest players of all time, he seems to get forgotten a lot about. And I'm not putting him in that. I'm just saying that he's a forgotten kind of a player, just like Barry is at times. Like when you talk, 75% of NFL fans probably have absolutely no idea who Bijan Robinson is. And that includes, honestly, I've seen Bijan Robinson in some drafts drop to like number 10 in fantasy football. I'm like, why are you guys not grabbing Bijan Robinson? You know what I mean? It's just amazing.
It's because it's not a sexy name. Like I
don't know, Dijon?
No, I meant like a sexy name, like he's not a household name. Like I think Barry's problem is Barry's longevity. Barry didn't play very long.
Yeah, because he was like Megatron and said, "Fuck this shit, I'm leaving."
Yeah, he's just like he's the reason why, my family, as y'all know, are Lions fans, and for years they said Detroit is the place you go to have careers die because of Megatron, and which is so heartbreaking because you see the loyalty of a Barry Sanders and of a Megatron to say, hey, we don't want to go anywhere else. But it's so sad because that ultimately that cost. Look, I think unfortunately Jerry just played too long ago that he's becoming victim to what a lot of older athletes do, where the people who are making the GOAT conversations never watched a snap of Jerry's career.
They just know Jerry as a Seahawk or a Raider.
Yeah, or whatever. They don't really truly understand how dominant Jerry Lee Rice really was. And look, it really honestly wasn't until we got Rashawn Woods and all those receivers, because you got to understand, we transitioned from Jerry to T.O. You feel me? And even after T.O., you had a little bit of Michael Crabtree, a little bit of
Let's not put Crabtree anywhere near those.
I'm not putting Crabtree in that level, but I'm not saying Crabtree wasn't a garbage receiver.
Yeah, he was.
I think
he was trash.
Problem is that Crabtree on the Harbaugh Niner teams had to be the number one receiver, and he wasn't a number one receiver. But the problem was they just never had another receiver to complement him. But it wasn't until we went through the struggles of receivers that we did that I truly, really appreciate. It was just like, oh, receivers just don't catch 100 balls and 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns every year. Like, I just thought that's what wide receivers do, because that's what I grew up with Jerry and T.O. I think Bijan is a type of player that he might be Patrick Willis. And ultimately, why I didn't think Patrick Willis would ever make the Hall of Fame is because a lot of Patrick Willis's prime, you and I talked about the pick six against the Seahawks. That was on a garbage-ass Niner team. That Niner team might have not even won 7 games that year. Probably didn't. I think it's the same thing with Bijan Robinson. What makes people household names? Playoff games.
Yeah. Primetime playoff games.
Primetime and playoff games. When was the last time you saw the Falcons as the main team in a prime, like Sunday Night Football? The reason this game is on Sunday Night Football is not because of the Atlanta Falcons. It's because of the San Francisco 49ers, correct?
Yeah.
So when's the last time you saw the Falcons as the main attraction of a primetime, everybody in America is watching this football game? And that's why Bijan Robinson is underrated. I think that's exactly why.
Could be, yeah.
But let the Falcons get good, bruh. And I don't think it'll take long.
I think they need a better. I'm not a big fan of Penix. I don't think he's the answer.
I do. I'm not saying that they're a good football team. I'm saying.
I'm just saying I don't think Penix is the answer for them.
No, I don't think so either. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Kyle Pitts.
No, I put him up there just for shits and giggles because I remember that year I was also a very big Kyle Pitts fan coming out of college, and he's just done next to nothing since he's become a Falcon. But yeah, I remember just being a huge Kyle Pitts fan.
Well, yeah, because everybody had him as the heir apparent to George Kittle.
Yeah, and I was among those people, like Kittle and Pitts. Remember that old bullshit?
Fuck. What year was that? Kai, I literally remember us doing the draft show that year. And talking.
Was that the first one that we did? Maybe
that might have been the first one. No, I wasn't 21 because 21 was the first draft show we did because it was the Trey Lance draft.
Either way,
I don't remember. Anyway, yeah.
All right, let's move on to their defense. Their defense, not the greatest when it comes to defending the run. Maybe we can actually get some sort of a run game going this week. I know,
crazy idea. Way, Jason.
I know, it's just one of those things. It's like maybe we can. Is this the week we finally get it done? But obviously, they've got Jesse Bates and AJ Terrell on the backside. They've got Leonard Floyd out there. What's up, Mr. Terradome? How you doing,
What's
brother?
up,
Thank you for
Paradome?
showing up.
Okay, it was the Trey Lance draft. Okay, I'm sorry. I could have swore it wasn't, but I guess I was wrong. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember which draft it was. I just
Yeah, I
remember it was
don't
one of
either.
the
They're
first
all
drafts.
blending into
I
one.
thought it was the first one we did.
Hey, Jason, was it just me? And I obviously I remember on the Niners pregame for weeks, there were always talk about okay, what happens first, a Niners rushing touchdown or a pick, and there were so many weeks that like a couple weeks in a row that everybody was like, oh, they're gonna happen in both. They're gonna both happen in the same game, and
Yeah,
most
the
people would
pick is
be
going to lead to the rushing touchdown, is what
yeah,
it was.
exactly. That's what people were saying. The pick was. I thought, look, not near, nowhere near the Niners standard, but I thought the running game was at least functional last week.
It looked better.
It did. Like there were some positive
Or
ones.
we got over it. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
what
I think. I want to say, didn't the rushing touchdown come? It wasn't the low red zone, but was it was in the red zone when we scored the rushing touchdown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I want to say so if you tell me that we got against the number one rush defense, by the way, that we got a resemblance of a run game last week, and then you add in the best blocking tight end in NFL history, against a suspect rush defense. Yeah, I mean, if not this week, Jason, fuck. And we're not asking for much, just $150. I don't think that should be hard for
No.
a offense that has George Kittle on it.
No, and I think you're going to see a significant uptake in the rush game simply because, especially, we are hoping Kittle is at 100%. We don't know for sure. He could be 85%. See what I did there? And, we could just be, see.
I did.
You like the,
I did.
but if George Kittle's back out there at 100%, the run game is infinitely better.
Yeah, the stats prove it.
Yeah, and then you have Juwan Jennings, who hopefully maybe only has 3 cracked ribs this week versus 5 last week. You know what I mean? You hope everybody's mending and getting better. You hope that everything like that improves the running game just a little bit. Then at some point we get BA back, and BA could block really good. We get Brock back. Brock makes the running game a lot better because then they have to pay more attention because obviously Mac isn't the most mobile of people, even when he is 100% healthy. So I mean, little steps to getting this run game going.
I do too, and unfortunately, it'll be 2 years in a row that we will never see the San Francisco 49ers on the field. All like I remember at the end of the Jaguars game, Jason, remember when I asked you, hey, what's your number one concern about this football team? And you said that I haven't seen this football team.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. We've seen bits and pieces of it, and now that's all we're going to get to see the rest of the season.
Yeah, we're never going to see the football team, but we're starting to get to the point where we're going to see whatever the football team's going to be the rest of the season. We're starting to get to that point where that's the football team that will be on the field is
this Death Star will never be fully completed.
No. So the Death Star will never fully be operational.
Yep. Atlanta used to be in the NFC West. The Saints used to be in the NFC West. The NFC West was just fucking wild for about 10 years.
You know what? Okay, so I never asked you this, Jason, as somebody that grew up in Seattle, or at least a good chunk of your life did.
Hold on, I grew up in Japan, brother. None of this Seattle grew up, so I was growing up when I got here.
I'm just saying, or at least a good chunk of, or some of your life.
What up, Red Zone? How you doing?
You were there. You were in Seattle before they joined the NFC West, right?
Yeah, for a couple of years. Yeah,
for a couple of years.
Before they jumped over
how
the AFC.
do you like the division drawn up I've never talked to somebody that obviously, you went from oh, we don't give a fuck about the Niners to obviously a fan of a division rival, and it didn't take long for them to become a divisional rival. I remember that. It was probably the Theo Sharpie game. Was probably
I'm not going to say I was going to become a Seahawk fan per se, but I'm like, you know what? If they're in a different conference than the Niners, why couldn't I, at least have something, like I don't know what's the difference between not being a fan, a casual, maybe you could call me like maybe I was thinking of being like a casual Seahawk fan simply because how often were the two teams? Obviously, my loyalty would have lied with the Niners, always and forever. But I probably could have enjoyed more with my friends when the Seahawks won and all that kind of stuff. Because again, they were an AFC team.
Yeah,
so,
they were. Let's be real. I had friend, my boy TJ's from Washington. Me and my boy used to revel in the fucking Raiders losing together. Like, think about this. Like, I would be talking shit with a Seahawks fan. But, and everything. Like, think about that, bro. Like,
yeah. I mean, anything about, like, remember the Cardinals were in the NFC East for the longest time, too.
Yeah.
They were all.
That's why it was kind of a. People seem to forget it was kind of a big deal when Emmett went to Arizona. That's why it was kind of a big deal because he went to a division rival.
Was he a division rival at that point? I thought we'd already switched conferences by then.
Okay, maybe it was. Maybe it was. I
think the Cardinals were in NFC West team by then.
You could be right, bro. I could be wrong.
I can't remember when.
I can't remember
when he went over to the Cardinals.
I don't remember either, but you could be right, Jason. But no, it was. I will say this. Y'all know me. I tend to be a traditionalist. I tend to like to keep things the way they are. But I will say this: the divisions make way more sense now than they fucking did back in the day, especially since, like, I would say I was 16, so majority of my life they've been the divisions have been the way that they are for majority of my life now.
Mm-hmm.
I can say, like, yeah, they're way better now. It makes more sense for us to say fuck the Seahawks and fuck the Cardinals than it does for us to say fuck the Falcons, fuck the Panthers, and fuck the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Aints.
The only way it makes more sense for the NFC West, and this would be changing everything again, is you'd put us, both LA teams, and Seattle in the NFC West. That would be the only way you would change it, is if you did that.
And then what? Kansas City, Denver, Vegas. What would you make? Arizona would be the AFC South. I think that'd probably be the AFC South, right? Or West. I think that would be the only way you could really do it. Is you make the Cardinals and the Big Sky, fine, I guess, instead of the NFC. Okay, so let me see. Yeah, I think I've seen this map before, but I want to. You know what? Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, Jason.
It makes sense.
I kind of like this better.
Like I said, geographically, this makes a lot more sense than what we have right now.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. The West isn't the most horrible, but if you told me, let's just focus on the I guess Big Sky and the Pacific, it makes more sense for Arizona to be with Vegas, Colorado, and Missouri than it does to be with California and Washington. Yeah, I actually, you know what? And it would be so weird because it would be like it'd be the only Super Bowl between divisional teams would be us and the Chargers.
Yeah.
Because it would literally be impossible for the rest of our existence, or at least as long as the divisions will set up like this, for us to play it again. But it'd be like, so we would forever have that one up on the Chargers.
Yeah.
Our
Just
new
because.
division rival.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to this stuff.
Yeah.
When it comes to fantasy football, again, it's going to be the usual. If you have CMC, you're playing him. If you have Bijan Robinson, you're playing him. If you have George Kittle, you're playing him.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm staying away from everybody else when it comes to fantasy, unless you've got guys on bye or anything like that. I see all you guys, Tommy and Terradome, are going back and forth for what was the last primetime game.
No,
Red Zone
I was
Harris.
just saying the last time that the Falcons were the main attraction, not necessarily the last time we played them in a primetime game.
I don't think the NFL would allow us and the Raiders to be in the same division.
No, they would never allow that to happen.
Yeah, it's just it's way too personal, and they don't want to deal with that 2 times a year.
I would say this, maybe like okay, it's mostly been a fan like. Ever since players moved, like I remember they had a joint practice between the Niners and Raiders back in like the early 2000s. And literally the practice lasted like 45 minutes before it had to be broken up because of fights.
Yeah.
It's not like that between the players anymore because players move. Let's be real. It's not Tim Brown, who was Mr. Raider, and Jerry Rice, who was Mr. Niner. You know, it breaks my heart. But I actually fuck with Marshawn. Like, I love Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn is a great dude. Like, he's a great person.
Is the definition of Oakland. Like, if you ever want to imagine a nigga from East Oakland, it's Marshawn Lynch. That's exactly how them niggas are, bruh. Okay, I've known plenty of niggas from Oakland. They're all like that. That's how every nigga from East Oakland is. Shaking his dreads at the fucking, going dumb at the Coliseum and everything like that. And truthfully, one of the reasons why I mostly respect Marshawn, because Marshawn had a chance to come to the Niners, he said back in the day, and he said, fuck that, bro. I ain't never playing for the Niners. And I was like, bro, I respect that, because that's the true Oakland nigga like that. Like, nah, cause I ain't playing for the Niners. And I was like, I respect the fuck out of that, Marshawn. Like, fuck you, nigga, is Niners, nigga, fuck the Raiders. You feel me? But like honestly, my
Hurricanes just ran the most beautiful play I've seen in 5 years. All right, let's see. Keep going, TJ.
Okay. I will say, like, look, the animosity I felt towards the Raiders, like the actual team, has dissipated. But like, as far as like, first of all, it ain't gonna take very long for that shit to get back if they were in the same division. And I truthfully don't think people really, really understand like the magnitude of the Battle of the Bay and like how divided like households, families, like I remember so there's obviously everybody knows E40. There's another rapper, I think it was Filthy Rich. But okay, so everybody knows E40's from Vallejo. I forget which Oakland rapper, but it was a rapper's actually from Oakland. Like, them niggas were talking about getting in a shootout and everything when we lost the Super Bowl. And that nigga, I think the Raider fan was talking shit online and everything like that. And like, there was almost like a shootout between E40 and this particular rapper because, obviously it starts off with fuck your team, and then it always gets personal, Like, have you ever noticed? I don't know how many fuck your team fights you've gotten in, Jason, but it always starts with the, it always starts with the fuck the Niners, but the Shecox, and then it always gets more personal, than that.
Yep.
And that's how that one went, and niggas would obviously this like, but like, I'm serious, bro. Like, there was really almost a shootout over this Niner Raider shit, bro. Like, I was not at the game. But the game that they had that shootout, the reason why we stopped playing the Raiders in the preseason was that shootout at Candlestick Park. That game is the game. I showed you the scar across my Niners hat. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And I said that Raider fan tried to cut off my Niners hat. That was that game. Yeah, I was not at the game. We were just in downtown San Ho, but not too far from where we went and had that beer when we went down when you came out here. But like that didn't even happen at the stadium. Imagine that, bro. Like that literally not even. And this is back when the stadiums were in Oakland and Candles and Frisco. This happened about 45 miles away from the stadium, and I got stabbed. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine the shit that's going down at the stadium.
Yeah, and like I said, with that much animosity between the two fan bases,
it's not going to happen, cuz
they'll never put us in the same division just because the amount of security risk and lawsuits the NFL would be putting themselves at risk for would break the fucking league.
It's the amount of security and just no.
Yeah. All right. So when we're betting, all right. So we got over under 47 points.
So that'd be 23, 20 to like 23 to 24.
Yep.
Damn, they picked a good over under because that's probably what I would pick the score to be. I'm gonna say over just because I could see it being a 27 to 24 type of game.
Yeah.
27-23 type of game. But I don't think it's going to be like if they put it at 50, I wouldn't touch it at 50. But 47, I'll take the over.
All right. The spread is the Niners by 2. I'm taking that one. I'm taking over.
Yeah, I think we're going to win by more than 2.
Okay. And the only ones I felt comfortable betting on this week is doing the George Kittle touchdown. And to be honest, Jake Tonjes +1 for 400 at +400 is just great odds. The way he's been playing up good. He's been getting touchdowns here and there. I couldn't take those. I can't not take that odd.
Kyle said Kittle's not on a pitch count, but they're not going to have him out there for every play.
Yeah.
So I don't love the Tonjes, but if you told me it was like a 2-bet parlay.
Yeah, it's the money on it is too good.
Yeah, like if you told me, hey, you have to pay Tonjes and Kittle, okay.
I'd be okay with that.
But like I don't love the Tonjes, but yeah, that one is a little.
It's just because it's +400. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're taking it, and you're like, it's very little of a bet. It was so funny because yesterday during the or last week during the game and everything like that, I was calling out your bets to who I was watching the game with. I was like, oh, Jason hit on this CMC bet. Oh, Jason hit on this bet.
What can I say? I do pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? I go lie. That's actually kind of my favorite segment of the week is the betting because I'm not really that much of a gambler and actually don't even know if we could do online gambling in California.
I believe you can. And if there's ways around it. I'm not gonna say this shit live because YouTube would probably get it.
I got you.
There's ways around it.
Anyway,
it's like I can't legally bet online in Washington. I have to go to they just allowed sports betting here, so I can only go to the
bookie.
I have to go to the native bookie. Like I can't go to the ones off reservations. You can only do it on reservations. But I'm telling you right now, within the next 5 years, I'm going to be able to bet doing like on like FanDuel or Sleeper.
Look, Jason, you and I are roughly like you would be the age of like a slightly older brother, right? Like
yeah,
like maybe we have the same dads and like
he got remarried later.
He got remarried a few years and had me and everything. So like you're slightly like an older brother and everything like that. If you and me can say in our lifetime, like think about this, Jason, and you and I, we're pretty old school. They have multiple teams in Las Vegas. There's no way in hell that they're gonna put teams in Las Vegas and sports gambling isn't in our lifetime. Sports gambling isn't gonna be 100% legal, but we got teams in Las Vegas. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Yeah. exactly.
Get the
Like I said, I give it within 5 years here in Washington, I'll be able to use like FanDuel and shit.
Unfortunately, like, look, I'm not gonna lie. As somebody part native as myself, and as somebody who believes the only people that have a right to be bitch as far as mainland America, like obviously I know about your people in Hawaii. You know, Jason have their own reasons to bitch about why Hawaii's in America. But like as far as like mainland America, the only people that I think have a right to bitch about, how they've been treated here are natives and blacks. Like I fully understand what
the Chinese were fucked when we were building the railroads.
Yeah, but they came here, bro. That's a little different.
They
That's
were,
a little different than being brought on a slave ship and also having motherfuckers show up in your living room like the natives. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is I fully support like native. I think that natives have a right to have gambling and like I'm not fully mad that the only way you can bet is to go to a reservation. I think that's lightweight, a privilege that they should get. But at the same time, unfortunately, bruh, it breaks my heart because I love my native people. I'm part native, it's going to be, like you said, Jason, within 5 years. Fuck, probably the next presidential election. They're going to.
I just know what's going on in Washington State with how it's swinging here. I'm not sure what some other states are.
I want to say it was on the ballot in California. I think it was like, what's the election that happens every 2 years? I know the presidential is every 4 years. I want to say it was
Christopher Columbus slept with my Greek.
I don't know if I would brag about that necessarily, Brett, because I probably wasn't the most consensual thing in the entire universe. Because if we're keeping it 100, it was just at work. Like one of my coworkers was like, "Yeah, I was 13 dating a 19-year-old," and I was like, "You weren't dating, you were molested." And she goes, "No, no, no, no." I said, "No, you were not dating, you were molested." Anyway. Fuck, I totally forgot what I was saying. Fucking Kenny, you totally threw me off. Yeah, no, it's gonna be passed. But final thoughts, I guess, as we're fucking talking about ancestral rape and all sorts of shit. Like, fuck, this video's gone off the rails. Look, I want to respect the Falcons, right? Yep. I want to say, look, like fan wise, let's be real. Falcons fans want this game probably maybe than almost any other on the schedule, just because Falcons fans won't probably look. I'll be real. If Kyle Shanahan was my offensive for the Niners offensive coordinator for that Super Bowl, and the Niners lost the Super Bowl the way that the Falcons did, I'd fucking hate Kyle Shanahan for eternity too. I fucking look. I will forever hate fucking why did I forget his name right now? Our offensive coordinator for under Harbaugh.
Greg Roman.
I don't know why. I'll forever hate Greg Roman for the best thing that you can come up with. Fucking 4 plays from the 3.5 yard line is 3 fade routes to Crabtree.
Yeah.
Like that I will forever hate him for that. But the Falcons, bro, they always seem to have that weird game. Right? Like they always seem to get like almost like the Cardinals. Like that team that they should not give us problems, but they like I remember in 2019, remember? That's the game that actually made that game in Chicago be for the division.
Yep. Yeah.
Was that we lost to the Falcons game right after that Aints game? I want to say it was something like they came in here and I think it was 2023 and beat us. Or maybe it was 21 or something. Like the Falcons have a weird way of beating us, but realistically, like we might start to have different conversations. I don't think sell mode because I don't think we should sell.
No,
I don't think that we should sell Trent because I don't think we're prepared to replace him. I'd almost be okay with Juwan if you just simply told me there's no way in hell we're re-signing him,
Yeah.
which realistically is probably the case. But I don't know. I would need Ricky back for a couple. There's some other things before I'm just trading Juwan Jennings away. But this game's going to go a lot way to determining this season, because I can't say we can't win the division, but look, this is a nice little stretch before we start to get into the Yams, the Cardinals, the Panthers, the Browns, the bye week. So this nice little 3-game stretch, you can set yourself up real nice, Jason, for that comfortable home stretch towards the end of the season.
Yeah, like I said, this is where we're getting healthy, and it gets easier per se.
Yeah, this is when those early wins, the Aints game, let's be real, the Shekos game we should have lost, the Aints game we probably should have lost, the Cardinals game. This is where we need to start making those games be the difference between us fighting for a playoff spot and us fighting for a 1, possibly 2 seed, is these next 3 to 4 games. If you can walk out this next 4-game stretch where you got the Falcons, Houston, the Giants on the road, and then back for the Yams, if you can go 3-1, 2-2, I find it very hard for us not to be a playoff team then, Jason.
It gets the percentage of us not making the playoffs goes way down, and obviously it's going to go down every time we win. But making it to 5-2, it's another one of those big jumps to where it looks more and more like this would be an actual playoff team.
Like even if you go 2-2 over the next 4, that's 6-4.
Yeah.
You go 3-1, that's 6-3, or I'm 7-3. If you're 7-3 and you don't make the playoffs, that's
a big collapse.
I think that puts Kyle on the hot seat next year.
I would say yes, but again, I want to see how many more injuries and BS goes on.
Okay, fine. How many more injuries? But because to me, like, one of the things I said this to you on Tuesday, what are you excited for? And we kind of both said the same thing. To me, I want to walk out of this year saying Kyle Shanahan coached his ass off.
Yeah.
And that to me solidifies it, because for what we've seen, because so far the defense has carried us. And for being an offensive team, most of our money spent on the offensive side of the football. This team should be an offensive-driven team, Jason.
Should be.
Should be. So, you know what? I understand injuries. I understand. I'm not talking about number 1 offense in the league. I'm not talking about 2023 here, Jason. But we cannot lose games 17-14.
Yeah.
We start losing games 17-14, Jason, we got a problem. We lose games 38-41. Okay, I'll tip my cap. But we can't start losing games 17-20.
Agreed.
This team needs to start putting up, I would say, at least 24 to 27 points a game.
And with weapons coming back, the running game hopefully getting better, that's where I hope we're headed.
Experience. I think Robinson should start getting a little bit more of both Robinsons should start getting more of a role and everything like that. I think that it's still a little bit of a figuring out your identity, just because we haven't had the consistent pieces every week. But it should start getting to the point where because of all the turnover, we should start knowing what roles players fit in and what players' strengths and weaknesses are. So go get it done, bro. Let's go get a dub. Get the fucking sour L taste out of our mouth.
Yeah. And then you're still doing the stuff this weekend, right? Nothing's changing with you?
Yeah. I'm doing all my stuff. I'll do the pregame from the stadium.
Okay. I just couldn't remember when that was changing.
Yeah. Probably, unless just assume unless other here notice, probably the first time I might need some help would be the Cardinals game.
Okay.
I'll be good for all home games, especially considering that I'm now doing the shows from the stadium.
Yeah.
It'll be the road games that I get a hotel every Tuesday and Sunday.
Well, let's figure it out.
But pregame from the Field of Jeans.
Bright and early.
Yay, let's get it done.
All right, everybody. Thank you for showing up for the Niner Faithful Radio Week in Review Show, the Atlanta Falcons Week 7. Again, TJ will be back on here on Sunday. He'll be doing the pregame. I will be here doing the the halftime show. And then Jamie will be back to do the postgame show. So until everybody, have a great weekend. Fa fatai te lava.